HappiDaze here, and in today's video we're going to go ahead and look at the teams that I'm going to be using for TM. So these are teams that are fully boosted. I did pull all 3 of the boosters for this TM. So let's go ahead and get right into it, look at what the units look like there. So let's go to the treasure map crew. So let's look at the first fight, which is the Mr. 4 and Miss Mary fight. So just a quick recap of what happens on this fight. You get 5 turns special bind, you get stun for your right column, you get 99 turns of normal attacks only, 6 turns of attack down, 2 turns of increased damage, and the boss has 99 turns of immunity. So very similar to the video that we did yesterday. We're not doing anything special or different on this stage. We're basically just go ahead and use Luffy to take care of the stun and the attack down, use the Sanji and Nami unit there to take care of the special bind, and we'll cruise through this content without like any problems at all. Like this should be one of the easier fights to get through without any problems at all. We have just extra boosters on there, so Snake is a booster, and the other 2 down at the bottom row are all just boosters, so completely replaceable for whatever units you might have, but that's just kind of how we're approaching it for this battle here. So going into the next battle, which is against Perona, so very similar to the team that we had yesterday. Really the key units to have on this team are really the Lucci unit as well as the Izo unit. So just a quick recap, you get block slots that Izo helps take care of, you get 3 turns of slot bind for your top row. Potential ability of Lucci will end up kind of negating that, so you don't have to really worry about that. 99 turns of natural attack only, 6 turns of burn, which the Lucci unit ends up helping take care of, 7 turns of increased defense, again Lucci takes care of that as well, and then you get 2 turns intimidate for slot boost. So nothing really too crazy to watch out for. Just make sure you use Lucci and Izo in the last stage, and you'll be able to kind of breathe through this content without too many problems. Again, in this battle here, the boosters of Shanks, Koala, and the Atlas unit there are just point boosters. If you have higher point boosters, feel free to just slot them in. You really just need these teams here. So this is where it starts getting interesting. This is where they expect you to have pulled on the Memories Sugafest that had Sanji and Zoro. So I did pull. I managed to get both Zeph and Kuina from the rare recruits and only Sanji from the Legends, but he's perfect for this fight. This fight, you'll end up getting 80% HP cut when you go into the final stage, which is a pain. You get 100k death hit, which is a pain. You get 9 turns of left column bind, so that Sanji special will end up taking care of 7. With sockets, it'll easily get rid of the other 3. You get badly matching orbs. Again, what'll end up happening is you'll have the Zeph unit here to be able to basically give you recovery orbs, and there's a 2-turn recovery barrier, so that just helps you get through that as well. You do have the Shanks unit here on the team, basically just as a point booster. I just want to make sure, though, that you don't end up, you might not even have to use him. You can if you want, but his special is just like completely not needed. He's just a higher point booster. There's also hunger debuff, so luckily both Sanji and the Zeph unit have hunger's potential ability, so that will get rid of that. No worries there. 6 turns damage threshold, so that will get taken care of by the Zeph unit, I believe here. Let's just take a quick look. Yep, he takes care of that threshold himself, which is great. And then, as I said, he also takes care of the recovery barrier. So if you have just literally Sanji and Zeph, you can get through this content without any problems. The other 3 units can just be pure boosters, help you get through the content, and get through it pretty quickly. So let's start getting to the first fight where I really don't have all the units. Now the good news is the recommended units for this Ulti page 1 fight are Kuina and Mihawk, who I do have, but I don't have the Memories Zoro. So the real crux of what he does in this team is basically he helps get rid of that paralysis, right? His special does that. So we wanted to find another captain that could do similar to that. So just talk about the stage mechanics real quick, just so we can get into it. So you do get 2 turns of special rewind. Now, luckily for us, Kuina in the left-hand column there, in the middle left, does reverse as part of her potential abilities, the rewind for 3 turns, so that's good. Basically what happens is we want to use really 3 specials here, which is really going to be the Kuina special, the Mihawk special, and the Captain Luffy special, because that will take care of all those paralysis and the Rainbow Shield. Mihawk takes care of that Rainbow Shield. So there is a 6-turn Rainbow Shield on this stage. Mihawk takes care of that. You get 9 turns of Despair. Kuina will take care of 7 of that with sockets that will get you up to that 9. And then you have that 11 turns of paralysis that you have to deal with, which is kind of the worst debuff out of the bunch. So going into stage 3, use Kuina. She'll end up letting you recharge the cooldown of another character. We'll choose the Mihawk. Do the Mihawk special. The Mihawk special actually rewinds the special of the top row characters by 2 turns because the leader there is a free spirit character. So we'll just make sure that basically those 3 can go. So we don't even need the bottom 2 units. They're just point boosters. If you have anyone higher than, just show your highest point boosters on there. Preferably that are Dex, just so you can type advantage and get through there. But we're using Luffy to take care of the paralysis, Mihawk to take care of the rainbow shield, and basically Kuina to take care of the despair that gets put there, as well as letting us use Mihawk special to be able to get everyone's special ready to go. So that's kind of what we're doing for the Ulti page 1 fight. And now we get into kind of the two big fights going into here. So the good news here is that I have all the recommended units, right, that are pretty much here. They do recommend Blackbear to help take care of the damage nullification, but I have Ace, and he just does it so much better, and he also has the advantage of, if you have the support that I have on here, this guy right here, he ends up giving you 3 down to the damage threshold in the last stage, and there's 10 turns of damage threshold in that last stage that you have to deal with. So Usopp will only get you 7. So Usopp combined with this guy will be able to basically clear it himself, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's why I think, in my opinion, this Ace is a better match than using the recommended Blackbear that's there, but that's what we're going with because it just makes it a little bit easier. So on stage 2, you'll have to deal with Slot Bind and Super Burn, which is kind of a pain, as well as the damage nullification. So to basically get around that, we're going to be able to use Yamato to take care. She gets to take care of the Slot Bind and the Super Burn herself, but we're also going to use Kaya here. And we want to do that just so we can carry in that buff of, I believe she gives an attack boost or an orb boost for 3 turns. Let's see real quick. She will give a, she gives a type effect for 3 turns. So yeah, we'll use her on this stage, and that way we'll be able to carry that going into the final stage there. You do end up getting or having to deal with some special bind on the left column, so you just want to make sure that whatever characters you're using, you have on your left column. Sorry, I can't talk today. You have in your left column, and you use them on battle 2. That way, when they get special binded on battle 3, it won't matter too much. But yeah, we have, like I said, we have the Yamato unit to take care of the slot bind. It can help get rid of the burn. The Kai unit can help get rid of the burn too. And the Ace unit will help us go ahead and get rid of that nasty damage nullification shield that is on the boss. So that's what we're doing for stage 2. On stage 3, you have to deal with 10 turns of damage threshold. So one of the Usopps will take care of 7, plus with the support that's on that Ace unit, we'll get the other 3 to get rid of the 10 total. Don't have to worry there. In terms of taking care of the Rainbow Shield, the unit over here, the Onion, Pepper, Carrot, will be able to help take care of that for us, make it really easy to get through the content, not have to worry too much there. You do have a two-turn damage limiter here, so you are going to have to stall a little bit, so that's why you want to be able to use the Usopp's Special and Super Class in order to basically just allow you to not get the turn 1 actions that happen for the boss, because they're really nasty actions with Resilience and a bunch of nasty debuffs there. So we want to make sure that you stall. It won't trigger the interrupt if you use his super class and regular special. So that's kind of the game plan going into that. And then, like I said, we don't really care about the special bind because our left units will have already used their specials in stage 2, so it doesn't really matter too much on stage 3 there. So that's kind of the game plan for the Kuro and Django fight. And let's take a look at the TM Intrusion boss last. So again, Ace is kind of the key player for this event. Like, he really does a lot in all these different cases. So he helps out, but just to take a quick recap of what Mihawk does. So on stage 2, he gives you block slots. You'll get 3 turns of Special Rewind, 6 turns of Super Burn, 6 turns of Damage Threshold, 99 turns of normal attacks only, and then the boss gets 99 turns of immunity. So obviously to get around that nastiness that happens on stage 3. So it's kind of important if I talk about stage 3 because there's some debuffs there, and I might talk of why I have the positioning here. But on stage 3, let's go through the debuffs real quick. So you get 6 turns of Special Rewind to your right column. So in essence, you want to make sure that you're using the units in your right column on stage 2, because they're going to get 6 turns Special Rewind on stage 3. You get Paralysis, which you'll have to take care of. You get 99 turns of normal attack only. You get attack up 1.1, slot up 1.1, and then you get a 3-turn barrier for 2 times Dex slot. So you have to be able to have enough slots that are able to get through that barrier. And there's a nasty debuff if you remove the barrier as opposed to actually breaking in with the orb, so you want to make sure you keep it there. And then lastly, you have a 9-turn bind that happens on there. So yeah, a lot of nasty debuffs that are on there. You'll have on stage 2, where you'll use the carrot, onion, pepper, and the Kaya unit there to help take care of the super burn, as well as the 6 turns of threshold. She'll kind of help you, get through that content without too many problems there. And help with the block orbs as well. Then on stage 3, we essence want to use just the characters that are on the left side of the screen, because the right column will get binded or get special around for 6 turns, so we want to make sure we've already used those. So basically we'll end up using one of the Usops on stage 3. He'll help kind of boost up that attack and slot up, get some extra damage there. The Sanji will take care of the bind. He'll do 7 turns himself. Then when you have sockets, that will bring you up to 9 turns. We'll get you through there. Yeah, the ace unit at the bottom there, we'll use him on stage 3 as well. And the reason that we're really using him is just because he can actually remove paralysis and give us the dex orbs, which will help us get through that barrier. So just a quick recap: on stage 2, we'll use onion, pepper, carrot, Kaya, and one of our Usops. And then on stage 3, we'll end up using the Sanji unit, the ace unit, and then the other the other Usopp unit that's there. And that will help us get through the captain and the boss pretty easily without too much difficulty there. So these are my teams going in. I'm estimating that it'll be somewhere like in the high 30 time multiplier when all is said and done. But this will just kind of help get through the content. So I'll have some video playthroughs of how these teams work, just to kind of see in practice how it works. But this is kind of the teams that I'm going with today. Just make sure that you are using the anniversary ship. They'll give you a 10-turn special rewind. If you don't have a lot of the newer units, it'll just help make sure that units are ready to go, even if they're not necessarily boosted or they get the cooldown reduction at the start of the stage, depending on their class or the type. So just make sure that you have switched over to the anniversary ship just to make your lives a little bit easier. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if your teams are ready to go, if you think you're ready to take on TM, and if you're going to go for the max rewards or what you're kind of going for rank. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, be kind to each other.